Get back into politics. Could I expect your moral and financial support?
100%.
Trump hasn't hinted at any potential vice presidents, but Ventura may have a tough time making the short list. Trump told Chicago Sun-Times reporter Michael Sneed he would strongly consider a female running mate. I'm joined by John Nichols, Washington correspondent for The Nation magazine, Betsy Woodruff, politics reporter for The Daily Beast, and Brian Darling, Senior Vice President of Third Dimension Strategies and former Communications Director for Senator Rand Paul. John, is it a little early for Trump to be discussing running mates since he kind of hasn't, I don't know, tied up the Republican nomination yet?
My friend, nothing is early and nothing is late for Donald Trump. He is absolutely writing his own rules, and the truth of the matter is that talking about running mates is a good thing for him. It allows him to sort of expand his message out a little bit. And while we're talking about Jesse the Body Ventura, who did pretty well in politics for a period there, we should also understand that Trump has said very nice things on a number of occasions about Sarah Palin. And so people should be conscious that you might be talking soon about repurposing a former Republican vice presidential nominee.
Does it sound like the Donald Bryan to repurpose a person for anything? That he wants the original, right? He wants the new thing. And do you think he might be considering Sarah Palin, or who else do you think is on that list?
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, Sarah Palin's a reality star, as is Donald Trump. Maybe Linda McMahon, if he wants to look to the WWE. She's somebody who ran for Senate 2 times, spent a lot of money. She's self-funded. Donald Trump's self-funding. It's a little early for him to talk about the vice presidency and picking out the drapes, considering at this time in 2008, Rudolph Giuliani was the front runner. Hillary Clinton was a lock to win the nomination. Fast forward to 2012, same situation with Newt Gingrich. A month before the Iowa caucuses, he declared himself the winner. So I think it's a bit early, and I'm sure other Republicans are very happy to hear him talking like this.
Yeah. Betsy, the only woman running for the Republican ticket is Carly Fiorina, who Trump hasn't been especially kind to. You think she's anywhere on that list?
I think definitely not. Fiorina has been a pointed critic of Trump. In the Republican happy hour debate, she actually sort of criticized him for having a phone call with Bill Clinton shortly before he announced he'd be launching a presidential bid. And it seems like there's no love lost between that pair. And in fact, look, Trump and Jesse Ventura kind of make sense as a duo. Trump is one of the most influential proponents of the birther conspiracy theory, and Jesse Ventura has been known to scratch his chin and to squint his eyes when 9/11 truth conspiracy theories get floated. So birther truther 2016 could definitely happen. Would certainly make more sense than Trump teaming up with somebody who says things regularly that aren't unreasonable.
Wow, the Batman and Robin of conspiracy theories. That would be exciting. So
yes,
John,
it would be.
Well, Jesse Ventura was a pretty remarkable player politically. He came out of wrestling, had a bit of a name, but then became mayor of the town where he lived in, and by most accounts was a pretty credible mayor.
And I think he became mayor by using, governor for using $300.
That was an ancient history, back when campaigns actually, in some cases, were publicly financed, and where candidates actually participated in lots of debates, and it was a lot more down home. And Ventura did great in the debates. He did so well that he actually beat a guy named Humphrey up in Minnesota, got into the governorship, and from there on, it just wasn't as good. He was not a terrible governor in every sense. There are some things that he did reasonably well, but his governorship ended up as a one-term affair, and he exited at the end of it. And I think a lot of people thought at that point that he was pretty well done with politics. Most of the signals he has sent have been that he's been pretty much done with politics. And I think this Trump flirtation, I'd be a little cautious about it. I am entertained by some of the suggestions of my fellow guests. But at the end of the day, my sense is that Trump will play a different game. And that is that he will start to name prominent players who are popular with a lot of the Republican base, or even maybe beyond the base, to help to buck his own candidacy, to build it up in some ways. So I kind of don't think he's going to go with Ventura.
Okay. Betsy, Ventura has also been a vocal supporter of Bernie Sanders what an interesting development there. What do you make of that?
It's actually understandable that people would support both Trump and Sanders. Like, both of them as candidates are huge surprises to people in D.C. and New York and the media, elite on the East Coast. And also, they share kind of this populist focus. Trump and Bernie Sanders are on the same page in some ways about immigration, about how immigration can impact the economy, particularly illegal immigration. They also are both foes of the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal. There aren't really any other presidential candidates making those sort of arguably protectionist arguments central to their campaigns. So the overlap there is surprising, given how different their rhetoric and their approaches are. The fact that Ventura likes both of them is actually not that weird.
So, Brian, given the fact that it's not that weird that he likes both of them, handicap it for us. Who has the better chance of snagging the broader populist vote in America beyond Democrat and Republican? Does Donald Trump's being there as bad boy populist appeal more than Bernie Sanders' kind of, slightly cantankerous but appealing grandfatherly reach out to the broader American public?
Yes, I think Donald Trump has that star factor. He is somebody who is very well known. I don't think Bernie Sanders is as well known. But the thing that Donald Trump brings to the table is the fact that he's flirted with the Reform Party before, just as Jesse Ventura has. He's flirted with the third-party candidacy. If he's already talking about it. If he jumps into the race as a third-party candidate, he's going to have some star power, and he's somebody who's against the elites of both parties. He's somebody who's been pushing hard against the Republican Party, the Democrat Party in the past, and he can self-fund. I mean, there are many things in his favor. I don't think he's going to make it and be the nominee of the Republican Party, but I think he's got a decent chance of jumping out and really throwing a monkey wrench into this race, more so than Bernie Sanders. I just don't see Bernie Sanders running as an independent.
Well, we'll see if Trump can trumpet, and will trumpet his significance. Anyway, John Nichols, Betsy Woodruff, and Brian Darling, thank you so very much. Still ahead, once named the most beautiful quarterback in the NFL, Tom Brady wasn't looking too hot in his court sketch yesterday. We'll tell you what the artist is now saying about her masterpiece next.